And welcome back to another video. Look at this beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning with everything in order. The world is perfect. Almost. Because there is a huge, blank, empty spot where a Dodge Challenger should be. And it is not there, folks. That car is still gone. We are going on day 5, business day 5, where my Challenger Special Edition Swinger is in the shop and they are trying to figure out what's wrong with it. And I am totally cool with it being gone, longer for them to figure out how to fix it correctly. And I also understand that it's the holidays. We had Thanksgiving on Thursday and that would slow anything down. So no issues with the dealership, just issues with the car. I was hoping it'd be something simple when he hooked it up to the scanner and told me that he thought it might be a short. I thought maybe go in there, figure out what it is, plug it back in, change my oil, get my car back. But that leaves us with a good old 107,000 mile cop car. That is my daily this week because the Lamborghini is miserable to drive. And this thing is an absolute pleasure to drive. I even added the remote locks, touchscreen navigation. I put all the modern amenities in this thing so that it at least resembles a nice luxury new car. But now, let's go ahead and go get my morning Diet Coke while wife is still sleeping and shoot a video and talk about, well, a couple things. We're going to talk about having these dealers on the ropes finally. I mean, everything we've been saying for a long time, everything we've been talking about is now here. But does that mean it's time for you to go buy your Challenger or Charger today? Because there's so many cars on the lot, so many Challengers and Chargers and Scat Packs and even Hellcats, mostly standard bodies, but there's so many out there. And I promise you there's some wide bodies out there as well, and maybe even a Demon out there with no markup sitting on a lot. I got to be careful about that one because I'm tempted to go and just buy it and then end up with 2 Demons and then sell one to all of you for MSRP, like just to be like a superhero to you all. But I don't know if I can pull that thing off. That'll be another video if I can, to show that greed is not my motivation. Even though I do want to, real quickly before we get into the content, just throw this out there. I got samples of my new merch on Friday, or today is not Friday, the other day. And these things are great on ocmotivator.com. Now here's the deal. Here's the all black. I have an all blue. And then I added, check this beauty out. This thing is awesome. I added this trucker hat in navy blue. Hopefully you can see the colors in this thing. It is very nice. Got the stitching. This is a great hat. These things are really inexpensive and you can wear the heck out of them. But here's what they're for. I never really promote merch on my channel, but I want you to think of these hats, this hat, as almost kryptonite to the Superman at the dealers, where you walk in there and they immediately just drop to their knees and agree to do whatever price you want them to do because they know that you watch my channel, they know that you're informed. So I thought about this. If all of you who are shopping for cars bought a hat, yeah, I think I make like $4, so it's not like a big deal. But if you all bought one, and when you go shop for your cars, you're wearing this, because apparently the dealers know who I am at this point, and there's a lot of them that watch this channel. So as you've seen in my other videos, when I walk into the dealerships, they know me. It's pretty quick, and yeah, maybe the hat turns them, or clues them in a little bit. But if you're wearing one, and you're shopping for a car, and you walk in wearing this thing, I think, and they watch the channel, I think they know not to play games with you. They know not to screw with you. They know not to stick you with add-ons. They know not to try the markup dance on you. They know to get right down to business because you're going to follow the entire script, which is you're there to buy a car, you're not there for a ham sandwich, and if they want to sell a car, you're going to buy a car, but if they want to screw the deal up by being greedy and stupid, you will walk. So this hat might actually save you some money by just walking in and flexing that you are absolutely informed. So go to ocmotivator.com, grab your hat today. There's t-shirts, there's all kinds of other stuff. Or don't. It's totally cool. I'm not trying to push you all. I'm not just trying to pick in your pockets. It's okay. But I just thought about that this morning when my own supplies showed up, and I thought, And how smart would that be? You guys just walk in wearing these things when you're shopping for your cars. All right, let's go for a ride, and then we will stop and we will have a chat about timing on buying your car and what's happening at the dealerships and how we have got them absolutely on the ropes. All right, let's get started. So first, I got to tell you the quickest story ever, which is wife and I went out looking at Land Rover Defenders last weekend. We rolled into the dealership on Saturday at 1 o'clock because her lease is up in April on her Defender, and she's got 45,000 miles, and the warranty runs out at 50,000 miles, and at 51,000 miles, the transmission and engine will sync together and completely implode and cost us about, $40,000 to fix. So we will not own a Land Rover outside of warranty. We've learned that lesson with our last 2 Land Rovers, and we wouldn't own one at all if it wasn't for it being my wife's most favorite car ever. So we drive down there after setting an appointment, and I keep getting these, you're pre-approved for $121,000 loan messages from Chase to go pick up her car for now more than what we paid for her original car. So we show up, and what do they have there? The exact same, color, make, model, almost everything was identical, except it didn't have the 3rd row seat. So her Defender has the 3rd row seat, has the family package, which we love to have when we have to take all the kids friends, and we're all doing family stuff, whatever it is, it's great to have. And this one didn't have that, and it was missing a couple other minor options, nothing that would dissuade us from buying the car. But here's what we figured out. We knew this walking in there, and I told my wife, I said, look, even though it's the same salesman that sold us your car, we like him, we appreciate him, he delivered the car to us in the middle of the pandemic. He's a great guy. So as far as salesmen are concerned, he's one of the good ones. I absolutely believe that. He also needs to pay his bills and feed his family, so I get that there is going to be a us against him scenario, and the second he brings a sales manager in, there will be an additional dynamic of 2 against us. So I believe they are still outnumbered by us, because we're not going to fall for it, because this is what we do. This is what I do on YouTube. I don't roll over and buy things just because I'm caught in the moment most of the time. I'm totally lying. Sometimes when it's me and I really want it, I do. But for the most part, we're going to fight it out. In this situation, my wife was on board with me. So we go out there and we see the car and we test drive it, and it's the same exact car. Then we go look at a larger 130, which is a longer one, and we are torn between the 2. Then we go into the finance room, and they start running what the payments would be, because we lease these things. We don't buy them, because you never want to own a Range Rover or Land Rover, any of those cars. It's just walking into a long-term nightmare. So you get it, 36 months later, you give the keys back, and you're good to go. Well, today, our payment is $1,156. I put like 10 grand down. Usually I put nothing down on leases, because you're just basically paying forward to keep your payment lower. So why be out $10,000? Might as well just keep $10,000 in the bank, earning interest, especially right now, and then make that payment every month. It's the extra $200 a month, and stretch that thing out over the 3 years. It just makes sense. With that said, we put 10 down because, well, I got caught up in the moment, and I wanted to not get trapped in a higher payment at the time, not knowing what was going to happen in the pandemic. So we bought it. $1,156 a month, 36 months, 50,000 mile warranty, 36,000 mile lease. We're upside down on the mileage by a solid 10,000 miles. By the time it's all over, it'll be 14,000 miles. At 30 cents a mile, it's less than 5 grand, whatever it is. So no big deal. When you trade in these things, the way the mileage goes, if the dealer buys your car and keeps your car, they don't do a lease turn in. So if you're close enough to the end, your balance on the payoff, there is a payoff on the lease, is low enough, then they will just buy the car if it's in good enough condition that they can resell it on their lot. So with our car, because it was a lease and because we've serviced it continuously at the dealership, they would just buy the car, meaning nobody has to pay those miles. So that's why when you lease a car, think it through. You can go with the lowest miles, and as long as you keep the car well maintained, and it's a very sought after car, and you turn in with some warranty left on it even, they're probably going to buy that car, not do a lease turn in, which means you're going to trade it in. So if you trade it in, they generally will not do a lease trade unless you're at the last month of the lease and you're under miles. But if there's a negative of $5,000 and you only owe, like we only owe, I think our payoff on that thing would be like $58,000, and they're going for $75,000 used, these guys are going to buy that car, which means it's never going back to Chase Bank, which means the mileage that we signed on to, overage, isn't due. Hopefully that makes sense, and just a little sidebar on leasing. So we end up doing the math, and the math came out to, because of rates, at 4.9%, which is their tier 1 best rate on a purchase, is equivalent to how the money factors all work out on the lease. We end up at, I think we'll start off at like 1,437 or something like that. And they told us that was the lowest they can get on this car. And then we went and maneuvered the numbers around to 42 months of lease, because she'll keep the car, and less miles per year because they're going to keep the car, and we're not going to ever end up paying that. And it came down to, they finally got it down to $1,399. Now, the other car we were looking at was like $1,500 or $1,600. These are huge payments. Remember, she's paying $1,156 a month for a car with more stuff on it that's approaching 3 years old. So why in the hell would she want this new car just because it's new with less miles, with no miles? Obviously it's new with low miles, but it's the same exact car with less options. So in her head, and I don't blame her, it was, why the hell am I doing this? So the reason I share that story is, we looked at each other, and right in front of those salesmen and the GM, I looked at her and I said, it's whatever you want. I mean, you want this car, we'll do it. But otherwise, and by the way, we're talking about like $5,000 down this time, which I hate doing on leases anyways. So she came back and said, and even with $10,000 down, the payment will still be several hundred, like $300 more or something than it was going to be otherwise. And I can tell she didn't want to, hurt their feelings or anything, but she wasn't all in on that, on buying the same exact car, less options for more money. So I looked at her and I said, in front of them, I said, what I'm going to say to all of you is, there is a near 100% chance that for every month that we wait, we've got till April till this lease is up, for every month that we wait in this economy, our deal will only get better. Our deal will only improve. Meaning, interest rates will likely get better next year. Prices will likely soften. Car dealers and manufacturers will come out with more incentives to push these cars out to get them sold. So between lower interest rates, better prices on the cars, there will be more cars, more supply on the lots as well, that there's just no reason we shouldn't wait. Unless you absolutely have to have it right now, and I love you, and I'll get it for you. And she goes, then we need to wait. Hell, we can even order the exact car. And then what they say? They said, and if you're watching, guys, I still love you, and I know you mean this, but they said right in front of both of us is, yes, but the one you want, the X-Dynamic 110 with all the features, the rear controls for the climate and all that fun stuff, the one that you want, we don't have any of those coming in. So unfortunately, we have other variants coming in, but we won't have one of those, unfortunately. And I said, I put my arm around the salesman, and I just said, but someone will. And we want to buy from you, but someone will. So what I would start working on now, between now and April, is doing a dealer trade. When you see what comes up on their lot, because they're going to want to move cars, if they're going to have an oversupply as well, is swap things out. Can't you do that? And he says, well, yeah, of course. I said, cool. So the whole thing about you may not ever get one again and we're screwed if we wait really doesn't apply. No, you're right. Okay, that's what I thought. So the reason I share that story with you all is things will only get better. And here's why. If you go watch Car Questions Answered, watch the clickbait kings of the world at Car Edge. I love them, but holy crap, do they clickbait a lot. Anyways, go watch them. They've got their data's always good, their information's always good, but just their thumbnails make you think the entire world's coming to an end. But go watch Car Edge. Aubrey Janik, I think her name is. What solid content. You've got Flying Wheels. I love that guy. Go watch all these channels. You don't have to... there's a Lucky Lopez, another great one. You don't have to take my word for it, and I'm not going to regurgitate everything they're saying. But the big thing that's happening right now with used and new car dealers is that since the supply is getting so large, there are holding costs to have these cars sitting there for a long time. And what we're dealing with right now is the dealers have ran out of dummies. They ran out of dummies who will come in and overpay for cars. And primarily, I believe, for all the reasons I shared with you in the past, you've got interest rates, economic pressures, lots of other things, inflation, overpriced cars, markups, all this other stupid stuff. But they're holding on to these cars. And what one dealer told me the other day, this was the owner of the dealership who did not like one of my videos. Shocker. But he said, Brad, you don't understand. Our margins are crap because Dodge raised the invoice prices and there's a few thousand. He says, how much do you think I make on a car? I'm like, I don't know. $5,000. He goes, nope, I might make $800. But then there's back end money and things I don't understand. So I wasn't going to get into a debate with him. But if that's the case, let's take what he said to be true, that because he seemed very emphatic about it. He says, I'm sitting on these cars, I'm paying for my floor plan, or I'm paying for interest and tiny principal payments on these things that will never catch the declining market. So I overpaid for all this inventory. The manufacturer won't allow me to drop the price without eliminating my completely eliminating my tiny margin. So I have to put add-ons and markups, which stops the buyers from buying, which means I have to keep paying my floor plan costs or whatever costs they incur for having all those cars. They're not all paid for when they're on the lot. And these things continually add up, putting them deeper in the hole on these cars. What am I supposed to do? And I thought, I think all you dealers need to get on the phone and call Dodge and say, help us. You're helping us with, I think, the Jeeps. You're helping us with some of the trucks with incentives. You need to bring back incentives, which immediately opens up more margin for these dealers and allows them to sell these cars for less money without them taking the hit. So what's got to happen, and that's why I believe over the next few months, we're going to see, as this car market continues to collapse, that manufacturers are going to have to help these dealers, because right now you can read online that dealers are turning away allocations. They're turning away inventory. Dodge dealers are saying, no, we have enough GTs, we have enough SXTs, and we have more than enough Jeeps to last us for the next year. Please don't deliver any more. Meaning, we need you to help us move these things if you want us to take more of your product, which means you need to bring back incentives. You need to bring back things like power dollars. This stuff is going to happen. So the message in this video that I want to get across is that the longer you wait, the better deal you're going to get. But Brad, the last call cars, they're never going to make the Hemi again. And then I'm going to miss out. I'm not going to get to have my Challenger, my Charger. Yes, you will. Because with all the repos, with all the people turning their cars back in, and with all the used cars that are flushing back onto the market, and all the unsold cars and unbuilt cars that are still going to be getting delivered to dealers that are not selling, there will be plenty of these cars for many years to come. Maybe not brand new, but pretty damn close to it. Go on Car Gurus and look around. You're going to find so many nearly new Hellcats, red eyes, wide bodies, with very low miles that are for sale. This is happening, and this is happening partly because there's a repo market that's dramatically growing, and there's a trade-in market that's dramatically growing. And when I drove in the Volkswagen dealership a few weeks ago, and I pulled in there, this beautiful green Hellcat wide body, only 1 year old. This thing only had 4,000 miles on it. This thing was awesome, and I did shoot a video. I don't think I still have it, but if I do, I'll put it up on the screen. And I asked the guy at the Volkswagen dealership, what is this doing here? How did this get here? Because you guys didn't go to the auction to buy a Hellcat. Nobody's coming to the Volkswagen dealership to buy a Hellcat. He says, buyer came in and traded it for a little Jetta or something. What did he trade it in on?
Jetta SE, because it's come new.
He says something fuel efficient. He couldn't afford the gas on the Hellcat, so he had to get rid of it. So those things, imagine that. You're going to take your, $100,000 Hellcat, $90,000 Hellcat, and you're in there going, can I get like a $35,000 fuel efficient car? And they're like, yeah, hell yeah, but we're going to hose you on your Hellcat. We're going to nail you on the fuel-efficient car. And he's like, yeah, but right now I'm dropping $1,500 a month on gas, and I'm going to drop it down to $300 a month. So I need to do that, or I'm going to be in trouble and lose my Hellcat. So many more of these cars will be coming. You will not miss out on anything. And the used cars are going to be just fine as long as they're low mileage and still under warranty. That's always going to be my theme. If they're low mileage, still under warranty. If you get one with high mileage, out of warranty, you are walking into a problem. The car has probably made Channel 7 news and done some takeovers, and you don't want it. It's probably nailed a curb or two a few times swinging it. So be careful with the high mileage, older used cars. But if it's still under warranty and you can get the thing checked out and the miles are relatively low, you can get a Hellcat. No one's going to know whether you had it or not new. It'll still have the last call badge if it's a 2023, and it'll still have the interior peeling off and electrical problems like mine has. Anyways, on that note, I'm going to end this video. Thank you all for watching. Stay strong. Don't pay the markups. Don't pay any add-ons. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel rushed. More cars are coming, and you will have a chance to get yours. It's just a matter of time. Time is our friend. With that, please like, subscribe, comment, share this video to anyone you think it could help, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.